Hello everyone, this is Aaron with Crypto Trends. Tonight is May 28th, 2018. This is an evening update. And first off, please keep in mind that this is not financial advice, just my opinion. And what we're going to do is cover BTC VEN ETH and talk a little bit about the interplay or possible interplay between Ether and EOS, and then also just a short snippet on TKY, the key. And so now let's get to it. First off, let me make sure that I'm streaming. And yes, I am. Looks like I have good health. And let's see. Let me go over here. Okay. Not doing a webcam tonight. All right. So let's go over to, well, that's ETH right there. Excuse me. I'm getting situated. Let's go check out BTC and see what's going on right now. And currently it is 8:09 Pacific Standard Time. So welcome everyone, that is for sure. And let me go ahead and bring this up. This is on Bitfinex. It's on the log scale and it is on the 1-day time chart. Let me make sure I have my chat. Everyone, let's see, go to my chat here. Bring it up, come on thing. Pop that out. There. Okay, great. So if you have any questions or comments or stuff like that, go ahead and put them in the chat, or if you're watching this video later, stick them below. I really look forward to answering the questions and stuff that I get. I think it's great, and it's really important to have a real good discussion about where everyone thinks these coins are going, etc. It's much better to have a discussion than like pointing fingers or acting like you know, the coins are some type of football team or whatever, you know, or fighting over it. No need for that. And anyway, let's go ahead and get back into it. So BTC, what is going on? So right now Bitcoin is at 7105, and that has taken a little bit of a drop. And we can see here, let me go to the let's go to the 3-minute, and we can zoom in here and see what's going on. So, you know, the 3-minute chart, okay, we have this little up and down stuff going. And earlier on, we had this big downward set of candles, right? Pretty big drop, and then also a big one here. The thing is that this one was larger. Look at the volume on it. Look at the big volume on here. This was some more volume, but you know, it looks like it's the larger steps down, right? It goes from 71.6 all the way down to 7,006, so $100 drop here. And then this was at 72.32 down to 71.30. Okay, so about another $100 drop, but the volume here was much larger. And I always tend to look at volume. Let me get this out of the way. I always tend to look at volume. So here's a big spike, here's a big spike. And to see what's going on, let me turn the auto scale on here. Okay, also notice when we're into 3-minute, we have these, once again, these high frequency trading algorithms going, the bots, the manipulation, you can call it. And yeah, there's going to be manipulation in the markets. So what? We can actually trade around it. So what do I mean by trading around it and so on and so forth? Well, several days ago, my last video, and actually before that, I drew these lines here. And so I've been waiting for these lines. I was thinking that it was going to go up and then come down and then take a drop. And sure enough, it went up right up to this line and a little bit past it. And then I thought after that, it was just going to bounce down. And the thing is that I drew a very large downward arrow here on the 24th, 25th time frame, and lo and behold, it hit, you know, it hit like 2 days early. So I was surprised by that. I was expecting it, but not as early. I did plan for it up in here. I dumped stuff up in here, got into it down here, dumped it up here, and right now I'm still sitting in fiat, so I'm waiting. Well, tether, fiat, you know, whatever you call it. Anyway, nevertheless, so this is the dump of where I thought we were going, and lo and behold, it still looks like we are going down on that dump. So do I think this is the bottom yet? No, I don't. I am still waiting for it to hit this line. And this is a, let me zoom out here. Let me change the schedule to time frame to 4 hour. And zoom in. So you can see this line here. This big long trend line and all the points that it hits. Boom, boom, boom. And so some people are saying that this is going to be a triple bottom. I'm not looking at this line here, which is at about the 65.50 line. I'm not counting that as the triple bottom. I'm taking it as basically this trend line here, and it's hit 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And usually when something hits a line going either way, it weakens the line. So what does that mean? For me, it means this. Let me go ahead and copy that. Control C, Control V. Doom. Let's see. So that's what it means to me. And, well, not quite that much. Let's bump it up about here, okay? Now, I did mention that a while back when I first drew these lines on the chart about a week ago, right around the, you know, the 18th, somewhere around there, that I was looking at this candle and this overall trend and manipulation, and I wrote programs to reverse engineer these algos, and you know, I was doing pretty good, hitting it fairly close on the uptrend. And here I, you know, did the same thing as like, okay, what's it doing? Anyway, we have this big, huge wick that started this bull trend going up, right? And I was saying that all these box formations, some people call them Bart Simpson heads and stuff like that, but they have like an open and a close because it's part of a computer program. And I was saying, okay, well, this one is an open, so where's its close? It hasn't closed yet. It hasn't closed yet. And been looking, and that's what I was thinking this was going to be, was the close. Now what's happening, it's yeah, it looks like it's drawn out longer. Let me get rid of this thing there. It looks like it's, you know, being drawn out longer. But nevertheless, I'm still seeing it coming down and hitting. Now the thing is, once it hits this line, which is right around the oh, wow, it's about the 7,000 level. Let me change to the 1 hour and hit auto scale here real quick. If you haven't messed around with TradingView, I highly suggest you do it. It's a lot of fun. You know, it's fun drawing charts and stuff. I'm not that much in the TA, but you know what? It's a great way to help show you guys where I think things are going. So I'm not doing any type of well, I just don't do a lot of TA. Let's put it that way. It does come into play because I do TA in the regard to where I'm thinking, okay, I'm doing TA. This is where everyone else thinks it's going to go. And usually what happens is that things go the opposite way of where people think it's going to go. So that's what I do. That's what I do. That's why I use it. I'm thinking, okay, everyone thinks it's going to go up. Let's vote for it to go down. And you know what? That has worked pretty well for me so far. Anyway, back to this thing. So yeah, I think it's going to come down further to this line that I showed you where it's hitting those 4 points, right? And that might be right around, yeah, around the 7,000. So about another 100 to go. And when is that going to hit? I don't know. It could go up too. It could come down, and then lo and behold, it could hit, and then it could bounce, right? But that's one scenario. that we need to plan on, right? It could bounce. It could start bouncing here. So we'll see. But that's one scenario that we need to plan on. But what I'm actually thinking as I'm looking at this chart, let me hit the auto here. And also this is on the log scale. Okay, this is on the log scale. And let me zoom out. Here's what I like to look at, okay? I like to look at the volume, all right? I pay a lot of attention to the volume, and I pay attention to the price action and where it hits. So for instance, this volume, and volume for me is an indicator of, it's like a wave, and it travels from left to right, and the higher the wave, the more likely that whatever it was at that point is going to carry forward. So for instance, here was a heck of a lot of volume, okay, and then you could see it peak here, and it's going down, 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 and so a ton of volume. You could basically think of this wave, you know, got pushed up, and then it comes down, and that's basically what happened. It was a continuation of the pattern. And so this was a pretty high wave right about here, if you can see where my cursor is. And so it has to come all the way down. And then, well, theoretically, it come all the way down when it hits zero volume, but it's not doing that. Anyway, so this is like the average here, right? And so we're watching the average come up, and then the average is going to carry the volume stuff along with it until there's a very large basic stoppage in the trend, which would be like a huge up spike, like, you know, a big spike would really take a lot of steam out of the trend. And that's how I think of it. Anyway, so what we have here is another large spikes of red volume. And so what I'm expecting is, that's pretty big. I'm expecting this to travel further to the right, so that means further in the future. And I'm expecting it to continue the trend downward for a while until this runs out of steam. So that's why I am looking at, yeah, it could come down here, but I'm actually thinking it's going to come down, maybe not as much or as big of an angle like this stuff, as aggressive, but shallower, until I'm looking basically towards like June. Okay, there. So that seems right to me. That seems pretty good. So that's just one possible scenario. Another possible scenario is it goes the other way. Okay, and always keep that in mind, that this is not financial advice. This is just my opinion. I'm reading energies off of the malaise that's out there for the people. They're tired of this garbage bear market, and they're really, really tired of it, and they are selling their coins. Nevertheless, anyway, so what is really going on with Bitcoin? Let me go ahead and get back out to the 4 hour. The auto thing here makes it easier when you scale stuff. So what is really happening here? Now, if you're into Elliott waves and stuff like that, you can see that's what this is. We have a down, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 goes way, way, way down. This is pretty much market sentiment of where people are thinking it's going to go. And when it hits down here about 4,000 mark, oh man, if it hits there, I am renting a truck to fill all the bags. You know, that's what I'm doing, and that's just me. You guys have a plan, but you know, it can go up as well. But also what I'm doing is that you know, about every 2 weeks I'm checking this out, and I am looking for buying opportunities on the long term, because long term I am bullish. I am very, very bullish on Bitcoin. Short term, I mean, you know, it goes up and down. And mid-range term, you know, out to a few weeks, you know, it varies. But long term, I am bullish. Why? Well, let's go out here and let's go to the 1 day. Boom. And let's just bring this thing down. Okay, so what do we have here? Well, this was pretty early in the day, right? Anyway, you can basically look at this as one big, huge cup and handle. And so what I'm looking at in the future of where this thing is going is like this. Okay? Well, maybe like later on. we'll see. Hopefully that line starts tomorrow. But we'll see. But in the long term, I'm very, very bullish because I think Bitcoin is one of the primary assets to have in one's portfolio, and that's just me. But talk to a financial advisor about that. Don't just listen to me. Don't listen to me at all. Actually, I mean, yeah, it's entertaining or whatever because you want to hear about the future trends of you know, when I do remote views and stuff. But yeah, contact a financial advisor. Anyway, going back. Okay, so here we have, okay, possible trend going down. Where I think it's going, I think it's still going down, but it's not going to go down at a steep a slope as it has been for the last several days. Okay, so not as big as an angle. I do think it's going to hit this line, and I think it's actually going to bounce through because Bitcoin has not been respecting any type of TA or support lines for a little while. It's just showing total disrespect for a lot of my lines, actually, except for this one where it bounced up. But that's from remote viewing, not from like TA stuff, technical analysis. Yeah, you could say that's a support. I mean, how good does that look like a support to a lot of people? I mean, it's garbage. You know, they'll put it down here or whatever. So I'm not drawing TA lines exact. Nevertheless, still looking forward to Bitcoin going down, which means that the altcoins are going to be going down. And that is what I'm looking forward to because I'm looking to fill my bags with cheap coins. So doing on that, let's go take some look at another coin where there's some interesting stuff. Let's go take a look at ETH USD. This is on Bitfinex, once again on the log scale. This is on the 4-hour time. And we can see here, lovely, lovely Ether. And Ether has some interesting stuff. It was going on a pretty good run. And then, yeah, it's just taking a dump. And notice the huge volume spikes here. That is huge. That is somebody with a lot of Ether to sell, right? That is somebody with a lot of Ether to sell. And who could that be? And there's been a lot of speculation that it could be EOS, and we'll see. I can't confirm that or not, but I do know that they have an absolute war chest of Ether, and they do need to sell it. VEN needs to sell it. A lot of ICOs need to sell their Ether to help fund their operation, and it's just a given, okay? It's nothing bad. It's nothing, you know, good. It's just business, okay? And, you know, there's no conspiracies or anything like that. It's just business. So let's say what's going on? What is going on with Ether? Well, we have this, you know, like I said, EOS. And we'll take a look at it here on Binance. And EOS is looking pretty good. I mean, we have this nice parabolic trend going up. It looks like it might be creating a cup and handle, and they're going to have their launch coming in just a few days. And what do I think is going to happen with that? Well, let's draw some lines real quick. I actually did a remote view on this, so you guys get to see what I think is going to happen. And let me scroll in here a bit. Okay, so this is on the 4-hour. Yeah. So I think, well, first let's draw a line of when they go live. Okay. So that is Alt V. Okay, so you see this line I just did? Okay, so I think it's going to go down. And then I think it's going to ratchet up to about yay here. Okay. And then I think it's going to go like this. May take auto. And then, well, let me shorten this line. And then because of the malaise that's in the general overall population, I think that this thing is going to take a dump. It's going to have an increase all the way up to the switchover on their mainnet, and then things. Yeah, I think it's actually going to be somewhat flat here and dump, but it's going to be there's going to be a lot of downward pressure on this bad boy here, and then what I think is going to happen is that it's going to get really low, and lo and behold, we're going to have some type of action like this going up. Okay, so let's scroll out so you can see that. Let me put the auto scaling back on. Yeah, that looks about right. 1, 2, 3. And this one here, yeah, I'm just saying it could be up or down a little bit, but it's going to be fairly flat. Then it's going to go down, and then all of a sudden there's going to be support coming in, and that's going to shoot the price up to here. Okay, now what's going to happen with that when that happens? What are they going to do? Because of this, they're not going to want their EOS key, excuse me, not their key, their coin to drop and to continue dropping. So I think this is the energy I'm getting. Okay, this is pure speculation. Don't give it any weight other than that it's an entertaining idea to think about. But I think what they're going to do is they're going to start selling off Ether and buying up the new coins, and that's going to push the price up. Okay, and that's what I think is going to happen. So right around this time period, this is about from the 9th to, I don't know, the 15th. Let's go back over to ETH, USD. And you guys let me know what your opinion is on that, okay? So come around the 9th or 15th. Let's go over here to the 9th, okay? So here's the 9th. And let's just say Ether is at where it's at now, okay? Whatever point. But around the 9th, what's going to happen when they start selling their Ether because they have an absolute war chest? And they're not going to spend it all. They're not trying to destroy Ether or stuff like that. I wasn't getting that energy. The energy I got was that they want to make money, and they want to make money on EOS. Okay, that's the energy I'm getting, and that is perfectly acceptable. That's what they're trying to do. But you know what? They have a ton of stuff over here of Ether. They're going to dump it, I think, and it's going to bring Ether down pretty much. And what happens, you know, with Ether? Yeah, I mean, who knows, right? We'll see what happens. But this is the main one here where I think it's going to go down. And right around this area here, which is around the 400 area. So I'm just going to draw a little line here. Oh, I drew it right to 400. I'll be darned. And a good old Alt-H puts a line. So there it is. And I'm going to color that red. There it is. Okay. So this brings up some interesting stuff. We have the EOS. Things tend to dump after a mainnet for the most part, right? And there's going to be a lot of support. There's going to be a lot of excitement because they're going to say, hey, we have this ICO, we have this ICO, we have this ICO, and it's going to counteract the harsh downward drop for EOS after it goes live. And so we're going to see stuff in news and announcements and stuff that I think will help prop it up. But there's just not enough volume in the market, in the overall market, to keep the thing up. So it's going to drop. And then like Apple Computer, they're basically going to do a stock rebuy where they are purchasing the EOS by, you know, they have to sell their Ethereum. They're going to purchase the EOS, and that's going to drive the price up, right? And that's just how things work. It's just, you know, like a stock buyback program. So that's what's I think is going to happen. But the thing is, when Ether drops, a lot of the altcoins are going to drop. That brings me to this bad boy here, VeChain. Scroll on out. Look at this pattern here. This is on the 4-hour, and I'm way out. And yeah, I hate that thing. But anyway, I'm way out here. You can see this to where it is basically in this trading channel here. It's getting tighter and tighter, and they are they could drop a bit here, okay, but they're getting tighter and tighter. And the, let's see, the 9th, when is the 9th? 9th's about right about here. Let me do an Alt V. There's the 9th. Okay, so this trend here, I was expecting it to go up and it didn't. Oh well, I was wrong there. That does happen. I do get wrong sometimes. But let me take this arrow here, and let's say on the 9th things start dropping. We can see it drop. I'm thinking right around this area here. So that area between where it's at basically right now and then this area is, for me, when it hits here, that's when I'm going to bulk up, because what's going to start happening is that on VEN, what I think anyway, is that we're going to be looking like this out till okay, there's the end of the month. Okay, so that's kind of like what I'm expecting for the end of the month. Then you can see, scrolling back here, okay, it's just going back up to this line. And then here's the exciting stuff I see for VEN. So I'm seeing this. Basically, I'm seeing this. Okay, and I can't scroll it anymore. Let me turn the auto off. This is what I'm seeing for VEN. Not quite that much. What about here? Okay, so I'm seeing a pretty large growth, and here's their all-time high. This is when they're around $9, and you can see that, yeah, they're going to go up, and there's just not enough room on this chart to make it go up, you know, higher. Okay, but anyway, I'm seeing pretty good growth for VeChain. I'm just going to stick it right about up in here. There. Okay, so there's the line. So yeah, there's the growth for VeChain, and I think that has just tremendous growth potential, because at the end of June, they're going to have their mainnet come out. They have a ton of ICOs. They have a ton of 200+ customers that you know, they're going to be announcing. There's just announcement after announcement, partnership after partnership with VEN. It's really ridiculous. There isn't another coin out there. Well, there's two that do that, and one of them is Ripple, and the other one is Stellar, and there's one more that's seldom talked about, and that is the key, which is TKY. So let's go take a look at this one, and this one is really super duper important, TKY, because what it is it provides the identification verification without any type of ambiguity. In other words, it is pretty much 100% guaranteed and verified by the government, and it's biometric data. So you have your fingerprint, your retina scan, etc. That's tied in and verified against government databases. So like your you know, like your driver's license records, you know, your birth certificates, all that stuff, it gets stored in a government repository, and the key cross-references that with your biometric data, so it knows 100% it's who you are. And this is going to be a huge deal in the future. And China recently kind of gave a push to the, let's put it this way, it's coin providers, it's coin companies, it's projects to, you know, ramp it up to get this thing rolling and quicker for whatever reason. But here's the key: it is super duper cheap right now. It's like at a penny at 259 sats, and this is on KuCoin, and is one to definitely take a look at. Do your homework on it. You will see that their partners are unbelievable. They're government partners, and so on. They're tied in tightly with AntShares, Neo. They have stuff going on with ontology. So you have Neo, ontology, the key. These guys are a big deal. The other part of that arena is VeChain, but VeChain is looking a lot more international. Well, you can't say that. I mean, it's doing a lot of international stuff as well as in China. There's some huge stuff going on in China as well. But I mean, VeChain's just everywhere. But the key could be the identification verification source for important things like getting insurance payments, like getting accepted for various things where true identity is important. Okay, so don't forget about the key. This is a long-term hold for me. You know, 3 to 5 years, and it's at 257 sats. So that's your big tip for the day. Anyway, I've been rambling along here. I'll see if there's any comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and get notified of these videos. And yeah, leave a comment below, and I'll try to answer them. But is there anything here? Joe Smith says lots of laughs. Okay, all right, whatever that is meant by that, not quite sure. But nevertheless, we have Bitcoin. Let's go look at BTC again. There. So BTC not looking good, guys, on short term. Long term, I love BTC. All right, but short term, I'm talking real short term here, not looking good. And then once it hits this area here, which is around July, we'll see what happens, because that's when it's you know, could bounce up and down, but we'll see what happens. But I'm actually looking for it to come down a little bit more gradual pace, and it could, looking for it to break this median line here. Anyway, that's it, guys. Like, subscribe, get notified, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and go ahead and leave comments. I really look forward to answering all of your guys' questions. Anyway, take care.